Good morning and welcome back to another episode on the Coin King channel. I am your host, Down the Crypto TA. We sold off our pump yesterday. Wow, no, to be expected. We pumped up there extremely fast. I don't actually have any signals today whatsoever. This low right here, though, I can tell you from the 15-minute time frame, that was our low that we could accumulate here on the 15-minute time frame. On the 1 hour, it's a little bit deeper. Let me see what I had in here on the 1 hour. Uh, okay, so on the 1 hour, we got this channel right here, and I think, let me just turn this on for a second here and see. Yeah, so we can break through this channel a little bit, probably get down here to about 65, 856, something like that. But we're holding the support from our daily level in here, which is good. So hopefully we can continue to do that. I really don't want to test the boundaries down here at all, because we'll be inside of the zone instead of, I like to use the top and the bottom line. It just makes the chart look a little cleaner by me, not in my opinion, because you know how I felt about the pump from here yesterday. And actually, I teased you guys a little bit yesterday, but of course I took that dang long position right there yesterday. And of course I did. I took the long from there and I took the short from here. I muzzled that short right there yesterday. I posted it, of course, but you saw the levels. I always share my levels with you. I let you know that we were at the resistance at the time on X at Down the Crypto TA, and really it was all about this right here. Of course, you could expect for them to take the liquidity. You could expect for them to take the liquidity right here. Um, take the liquidity, and then of course that's your short because. But that's what I did. I went ahead and shorted that. I think I took it like twice. I know I took it twice. Um, I shorted it here first to set my stop when I got stopped out of that, because I set my stop loss just right here. I didn't call this one right here. So I'm short. Well, short and long. This is the short position right here, y'all. That's my short. Short and I've taken profit once already, so I'm good on that. And then, of course, we were looking at this on stream yesterday. I did not like it. I didn't like it. I BS'd around a bit yesterday. But of course, I took that. I got the signal off of the 1 hour time frame that reinstated that there was some bullish underlying strength in here. Like I said, it was showing there was some bullish underlying strength. Now, I did not like the inverse. I still didn't like that inverse at all. But that was this right here. The inverse head and shoulders. Still didn't like that. But we reclaimed and we got that move up right there. We hit none other than also you saw the top side of the wedge in here, but also it's just that range here. So if we're looking at this, this is our range. This is our a mother bar right here. We take liquidity from the low of the bar. We take the liquidity from the high of the bar. Simply put, we talked about that. Hopefully we'll get that breakout in here. It's very choppy. It's very choppy, but that's going to happen considering how rapidly we got down here. So we have to build up the strength to be able to get the move to the upside. We don't need to build up strength to get the move down. If they wanted to send it down, they would just send this thing down. But we have to build up the strength to U-shape back around and get a larger move to the upside. And we're stalling out for some of those indicators to cool off too. Like we're so far from a ton of moving averages and things like that. Like we're really far off from a lot of things that make sense. To be, you're usually a little bit closer. So we're just trying to cool off some of these indicators to this area. Maybe once we cool off those indicators, if you're bearish, then then you can get that continuation drop to the downside. I don't think if we keep hammering the upside and not trying to break it. That's just my thing. I think if we're continuing to hammer it, we're trying to get up there. This time we eliminated the bear div. Because remember through here, let's see if we still have that in here. Yeah. So you recall we were putting in, oh, don't start that Bitcoin. Don't start that. Oh, not Bitcoin, but streamer. Okay, so you recall we were putting in the bear divs across here. Bear div, and then we did another bear div right here off of this top right here. This time, guess what we don't have? We do not have a bear div this time, so that's great. We do not have a bearish divergence between this point and this point right here. Forget about all of this over here. This time, we eliminated the bear div between here and here. That's a good thing, because now we have a even more of a chance of a continuation to the upside. Still not getting above that midpoint. Still not moving above that midpoint just yet. But we could easily put in some bullish divergence, so to say. I don't want us to have to drop all the way back down for that. I'm hoping that this was the false or the bear trap, per se, here when we swept the liquidity below this bar. I hope this is not a bull trap for sweeping the liquidity right there. But we just barely pricked that that standard deviation too. So not ready for that expansion just yet, but we're trying to get there. So just hold your horses, hold your horses. Hopefully it'll work out. Hopefully it will. Hopefully it will. Now we can say the same thing about this area right here, because we took the liquidity on the top side of this mother bar. Took the liquidity with that candle right here. And I know everybody's been waiting to take the liquidity here. So if I move this down right here, you can see that we swept the liquidity. Swept the liquidity there. And I know everybody's hoping for us to sweep the liquidity from the low. This is gonna take some time. You see how low we got on the RSI? We were extremely low on the RSI. It was like 15. Yeah. So it's just cooling off through here. Just trying to cool off. I generally think that this goes up. But how we broke this band like that without the continuation, that's always a problem. We talked about that yesterday as well. Being outside the band, you get a reversal, or it'll give you some sort of an indication that price action is attempting to cool off. It'll do one of those two. See it here on the weekly. We're not about to go back up and take out no all-time high or anything like that. Let me just be clear about that. We're not about to do that though. We're not about to do that though. We probably may not even do any more than, we'll see. We'll see. I was talking about the standard deviation 2 in here. See that signal 79.84. 79.84 is 73.143. I still think that we could potentially get into here. Today's Tuesday. Market's going to tell us a lot more today as opposed to yesterday. Call Mondays false move Mondays. It's some stuff that's looking really terrible in the stock market right now. It's looking terrible right now. I don't know if you've seen the VIX today, but yesterday, we hit the resistance line. Today, VIX blasted through that resistance. That trend line that had been rejecting it, it blasted through it today. Blasted through it today. Um, so, ooh, not counting it out just yet. Um, I'm not counting out the Bitcoin move to the upside just yet, but it's a scary stuff. You know how I always, I love ranges. I love ranges. You find you an outside, you find your mother bar, and you see a bunch of candles inside. Cooling, 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 man. Then you can, yeah. I took this long right here. Unfortunately, it happened right before I got on stream. So I'm a big fan of inside bar ranges. Of course, I am. Uh, but we were at support as well. You can't see it as good there as you can see it right here. But we tapped into the support, so that was another reason for me to want to take the long here, as opposed to how I really felt yesterday. But that wouldn't have made sense anyway. What I was wanting it to do wouldn't have made sense anyway, because we would have been below that low right there. Like I said, we can still come down a little bit in here and be okay. Um, we just might get that. I really want to take this candle right here out now from this 1 hour. Yeah, this is an inside range as well. So we really want to get back above the top side of here and flip that into some sort of support right there. Doesn't mean that we can't now get stocked out right here, because we can. But everything is still intact so far. Um, this has not been invalidated yet, and that won't happen until we're down here, taking out this low. But right now, this is still okay. If you do it like this, my computer is trying to lag on me. Like, why now? Why now? The same as where it tapped into here. You got that. In this case, I wouldn't want to do it like this. I looked at it before coming on stream. Sometimes you have to take the wicks out. Sometimes you have to. But yeah, we got here. We were overextended into a resistance area, so I knew to take that short. The 15-minute time frame was crazy. Crazy when we were all up in here. We were like a 80, 84. Extremely bullish, 84. We were very well overextended in there. Yeah, a little inverse was down here as well. A little inverse head and shoulder. And resistance now. Back at this golden pocket. We'll see if we reject right here, and if we start to flip back down, if we can keep this thing going. It looks like we might be at a place that we might reject. I know that they tried one time when we pushed back into this golden pocket. Because remember, we've stalled out right here multiple times. Multiple times we've stalled out right here. We've stalled out here and here, and it was resistance, meant support right here. So yeah, this is an area for rejection right here, for sure. So to see how much we come down, if we're going to actually break through here this time, and maybe tap into that trend line. that channel low, whatever you want to call it. But it is definitely a place for rejection. I think that might be a 4 hour. No, 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 it's not. It's just, yeah, it's just a place for rejection. Because how many times we've actually rejected there. I think that might be, um, let me see. Not this, not that, not that. Um, Here, I'll just draw off of the time range and see what they have, or what this thing has. Yeah, I'll do some broken part. So that will become control bars. Okay. I just can't get used to it sometimes. Let me just get rid of that. I just can't. Just know that, based on, you know, support and resistance levels, that zone can be a rejection point easy. I just try to use support and resistance. Um, it doesn't change. So, yeah, rejection point right now. That also was 786 bounce right there. A lot of times, your bid levels will become inverse. And you can see um, momentum. Would have had to have some momentum to break through there too, because that's your momentum line through here as well. What we stalled out at. That line is drawn a little bit off right there. That fair deal right there. Let's see if this will be the start of something more though. So volume is a little crappy right now as well. We can see if we lose here, I really hate being this side of the. I don't want it like that. But let's just let's consider that. We'll make this the low instead of the 76 pocket. Let's see if we can support here. I even bring it down a little bit more. That's not good though. That's not good. Oh, that's not good. I was a little bit more confident in taking this long right here because we were still above this white line. You know, we're falling, but we're still above it. The fact that we're below it now, um, that could be a deviation. For more of a move down. Thinking at this point it can stay like that and do one of these. Just catching this low down here. Well, coming up above here and then it's rolling back over. That happens with your fancy little line pop out like that. Anyway, VIX doing some damage this morning. I even moved my line a little bit. Like I even moved the line a little bit. You know, I dropped it right here as opposed to right here and trying to capture all the wicks like that because I usually don't like to do it like that. I like to be just like that, moving right along with it. Wherever it moves, I'm moving with it. But it has absolutely come back and it basically yesterday filled in this gap right here. So it allowed, like, you know, S&P 500 and another one to fill in the gap right here. And that's what it did too. Fill in the gap, turned around, and boom, we're outside of it. I was saying this yesterday too that if it gets through here, then it's likely that it get. I mean, like that would do a lot of damage to the market today. A lot of damage to the market today. Um, that's not good. Let's take a look here. This is the S&P 500 this morning for market opens. Got a nice little gap right here. You see, this was yesterday. Came through, filled in the gap, went a little further, hit that golden pocket up there, and there it was down. Z. It went down. It went down. It went. Uh, we can say that we're basically still ranging, but not. Oh, I'm having a headache. Top of my head. see how this goes for today. That's going to be a low. That's going to be a low. Nice little rejection coming in right now. Let's see if we sidestep this and swipe this and come back or something. I'm really looking in here because this is a major. This is just immediately to my left, and okay. That was just immediately to my left. This is more macro. This is local. We'll see. We'll see how that does. Save Bitcoin. That's all I can say. Save Bitcoin. Continuing to hold support through here. Not really getting down here into these equals down here just yet. It's a little irritating because it's there, and like I said, this is still a bearish formation, I'm leaning towards us at least coming back to this low, the back tested, and if it holds from there, then goes up. I mean, that'd be part of our Bitcoin move right there. And then, Bitcoin continues to do what Bitcoin has been doing. Well, what it does in a bear market. Um, if not, uh, we just keep holding this, dropping here, keep holding that. Um, Pretty much sweet. Yeah, I mean, I just think if we take out this down here, it's just not happening right now. I do think we take that out though. Just leaning towards the probability. Let me see if it's anything I've missed here. That was rough. I tried tried using like a 3 minute signal. I never use the lower time frame stuff like that. Maybe, just check on my entry when I get to some sort of resistance or something like that. But I was trying to use a signal off a 3 minute time frame. I think it was a 3 minute time frame last night. It failed. It failed. It absolutely failed. Now I did use the 1 minute when we got to the resistance right here to see if my entry was going to be good enough. Um, and then bunch of prayers along with that. Because to be honest, you don't know. You just assume. My assumption was we could get something. I didn't think we were going to get this low. I thought maybe the midpoint of this candle right here, something like that. But then we took it a step further. Only thing about this fall right here for me is it doesn't have any structure. It doesn't have any, like right here, it looked corrected, it was choppy through here. Um, you can draw patterns off of that. This, this doesn't have that, this doesn't look like that. And who knows, maybe, I don't know, but this doesn't look like that. That's all I know about this. It doesn't look like that. It looks like something that would just continue um, falling, to be honest. Take this away because we don't have that Benedict there anymore. Move this right here. Just want to see. Momentum is still okay in here. So, oh, it can actually go lower. Okay, but I'm gonna leave it like that. Let's kind of see. Weekly is kind of nice. Back when I first initially was looking at this, I've seen a whole bunch of other people doing it now. Uh, but I like to look at possible swing failures, to be honest, as opposed to how everybody else is looking at it now. Uh, is when we tapped into here, uh, this low on the RSI. We just stalled there. So if we get anything, I know I shared this before. I would be looking for it to, just sort of do one of those numbers right there. That's ugly. But where it just kind of swoops, if it does, become lower. If it does, I'll be looking for it to do that. SFP it. That's what I'll be looking for on it. That's how I like to work with it. Like if we right here, uh, we came a little bit fur, too far down on that one. So naturally, I would have moved it right here. And then of course, I did cover this before, and then SFP it. So it'd be the same thing for here. So that's what I had started watching um, for the SFP of this right here. We just kind of stalled when we got here. Um, then, like previous, I could have put a line on this one too. I did not. But like previously, we're far from a reversal, at least for the weekly time frame, that is, or any meaningful retracement. Yeah, we're far from that right now. But I would keep that in mind on the weekly time frame to basically look at this low right here. And if it swings below it and then comes back up, deploy capital. Or for the break over here, I really like it being below here though. Like I really jump in probably without getting the SFP. just jump in with it below here, which is how it was before it got this curve up. It was just hanging right below it slightly. Do it again. Buy. Not financial advice. Not financial advice, but it's a buy. Versus we broke here. Let me buy clearly every time it went lower here. And then that was a buy. I mean, it didn't go lower on this first one. True. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know what happened in here. Let me move this. This will show like that. We tried. Put it on that one since that's the one after it. Yeah, that was what we first tried right there. First try the SFP of that demand line there, a momentum line here on the RSI. That's when we first tried right there. And we failed. So I think I'm gonna leave this in here though, simply because I think it's gonna be important to all of this. I think this one, and this one, all three are important for when we really get to going. I am so, my English is so bad today. Get to going. All right, we're holding up. Grace. That's the thing that I was talking about. So we're back above. At least that line is. We could do that thing that I was just talking about, where we roll over right here. Since we're below this white line, we can do that. This is gonna be a bear dip. Yeah. It looks like that would end up being a bear dip, and then we roll over and come back down, fortunately. I mean, I don't know. I'm just assuming that that'll be the case for Bitcoin here. Like I said, it'll pop out one of these little gray lines right here if we're rolling over. Gold, metals. Oh my gosh, none of that stuff yesterday I was talking about worked. Oh my gosh, none of it. All right, so was talking about gold maybe coming back and back testing this line right here. We had the 382 and the 50% retracement. You can see how we dropped down into it. We tried to get a little bounce. We actually started with trying to get that little bounce off of this 382, and then that failed, dropped a little bit lower, tried again, absolutely failed. It has even taken the liquidity from right here. So this was an absolute bust. I don't even want to show you what the rest of it looks like, because it is terrible. Like we knew that this was a rising formation, but given everything that was going on, I was like, I thought this was the top, but maybe it's not the top anymore. Maybe we're gonna take that out. It's oof, What happened? What happened? Let me drop this all the way down. Uh, this was old from before. I'm just gonna see. This is right now. I mean, it's still just below the 50. All right. So I'll put this low here. Maybe go to pocket and see if we can respect this. See if we can respect that. This rising wedge, yeah, that's wild. I thought I saw earlier. I thought I saw the cloud coming up on this too, which is bearish. But because I know beforehand we got that little dip down here, and then we got this push up. But I think I saw it coming up earlier when I looked at it. I'm gonna drop this 786 now because that's, I mean, we at least got that. Um, I should adjust this to make it a little neater. I think I took this from a higher time frame though. But when I was looking at this, this was coming up, which is, a bearish sign right here. If it confirms one more time, like rising up a little bit more, then that's gonna sink this. I guess we end up somewhere back down through here. I would need to adjust this line right here this time though. It worked the last time, but I would need to adjust it right here. That's more like a 786. And if the worst happens, only if the worst happens. Um, I know down here on silver, you see how it came up on silver too. It didn't even have to come too far, but we've already broken below this line right here. I thought maybe, we could catch it off of here. It tried to bounce around off of here, and you can see how it ended up actually just coming through and using it as resistance. Basically, what it take this away, pretty much. Mm. Could probably get something out of since we lost this. Let me just clean up all of this. All of that's done. I really hate to use that. So I have to move it later on. I will. a good candle. Gold's still, Bitcoin's still holding. Uh, I don't know how volume looks on here. I don't even know if it's kind of light volume. Yes, it's too choppy. I can't use that. So I actually like that. Um, but I'm gonna move that out of the way and see what happens with this candle right here. This could be a good candle. I don't know right now. I have to give it some time to develop. Put a bed around it from right here that we stay inside of here, and then get a breakout. We'll see how that works on the time frame. Could could might be the one to hold it up a little bit, or it comes down towards that trend line. This right here, possible that this is a low right here. I moved this line, by the way. I had not adjusted it since it was like this, and was looking forward to, got the bounce there, got the reclaim right here. But I went ahead and moved it to here, match the energy of this area over here. But even that didn't matter. So either it reclaims back above here, then it makes sense to mess with it. I still left this here because it can come back up and this can become resistance to here. It can. Here I was looking for an SFP up here initially. They fooled everybody. Another little small reaction inside that golden pocket for Bitcoin, but aside from that, it's still doing okay. Um, Slow grinding, kind of looks like a bear flag. Give it the benefit of the doubt for a sec here. Um, yeah, better. Might be a low. This might be a low for copper. I think it very well could be. It looks like it might have been a tap three. I think it just might have been a low. Might be a low. Might be a low. And if it's not, I look for price actions coming to here. But I think that may be the low on copper, making this still valid or um, or a new possible entry. I would keep the stop. Let's just see. I'm gonna do it for where it is now. What is that top? Yeah, the top matches up pretty good. I probably would just look for the range in here. We'll wait for the reclaim back above this trend line right here. But that could have been the low right there for copper. Let me just check this one more time. This 8 hour. Let's see. No, I don't like silver. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. See how this works? Yeah, I don't like this at all. I'm just gonna drop this into this right here for like in case it does like a second SFP after 4 hour time frame. If it drops below here and SFPs that, then maybe something like this. I don't like this one. Oh, well, that is a trend line, right? Yeet. So just put that right on back. Oh, this. You have to. If you get one of these right here, unless that holds. I don't like silver. Gold could be okay. Could be okay. I'm just gonna drop these. But if you wanted to do like a measured move, I doubt it. I don't know. Take that away though. It's noise now. All right, I'm gonna jump back on Bitcoin. volume sucks, right? A little bit on Binance chart. This line right here was just coming from my cloud. I was just watching for a trend break on here, which it does have the S&P right there. And I think it could do it again. So I'm gonna move this. That's the same thing I was just seeing on RSI. But I think it could reject right in here. I think it could reject right in here. At resistance. We're back at the this is where we were rejecting at before. If you guys remember right here, this is the demand line right here. This is what I was explaining before. So we're back to rejecting right here. And I think you could also pull a it'll make sense now. But I think nah, it's not. It's different. Okay. But this was that demand line that was created off of that 4-hour candle back over here. Because this is an outside bar, if you recall. I was talking about that yesterday. I don't like all this moving around. That's why this is organic right here. Like I said, this is an outside bar. Outside bar center point is going to be where you tend to look for some sort of rejection or support from. And that's where we have been getting chopped up at, right through here. So let's see again. Like I said, it could be a rejection point. Could be a rejection point. And this low, of course, is no. I didn't have to do it like this. Make it easier for me to see it. You were just seeing the volume profile hit this right here, basically. So you can probably even drop it down a little bit more, but immediately to the left is this right here. So this was the last pivot created in here, was here. So immediately is that. And then if this holds, then I'll look for us to come back down. we push through, this is the low bound that we recently created was this right here. If we push through. We got some liquidity. I know we have liquidity up here, and we don't really have a lot showing down through here. At least not when I looked at it earlier. Let's see if that's changed. No, hasn't changed. Got some, got this liquidity through here, of course, up to here. Don't really have a lot showing down here. That's 24 hours past 48. Mm. It's more significant in here. With the one from this top being a lot more delightful. And this is it's a 15-minute chart. When you put it on 48 hours, it's a 15-minute chart. So yeah, this is where you have the most liquidity sitting at. This high right here, where you see these rejection signals, bearish signals. It's right here. And that's what I was talking about, the most recent. The resistance level itself at the daily is 68,020. If you're on the Binance chart anyway, that's what it is. But the most recent, if we are going to get through here successfully, it is this right here. Oh, wrong thing. It is that. The range worked out. Just check. So that would be the back test of what was, it looked like this was a falling wedge of some sort, something like that. I can't do it like that. Doesn't have to. I just want to see that side by side. Just kind of see where these levels over here were at since I'm just financial chart. So there it is, though. Without taking out this high. I mean, closing above this high. There it is. Just have to see what it does. Personally, I'm not going to try to short that because I'm short right here, and I just took the long off of this range right here, so I don't have a reason to fight myself. Okay. I'm a little extended as we're coming up in here, at least from what I can tell on the 15-minute time frame, as we're coming into resistance or potential resistance anyway. Strength looks okay. Might flip from neutral. Nice. It's just like I said, a little extended right here. If you're using if you're using it OSI strategy from yesterday, uh, which we got extended here outside of the bands right here. I got some stuff turned on that that I don't really get into. You're going through that. It's a little extended right there, just like when it got down here, it got a little extended, which you know, part of the reason why I look for this range right here to be a solid hold is because um, it was outside of the band. Doesn't mean it can't come in and then make another attempt because it can, because you can see how it did it right here, where it fell out, came in, and then it dropped just a little bit more through here. That's usually uh, some sort of a resistance line if you put it together, resistance and outside of the band, just like over here, outside of the band, we were at resistance. It was my short couple, and I had to try it twice, once here, and then uh, the second tap here. And then yesterday, the one that I hated so much was this right here. And that's just your regular old RSI right here. Just turn it on the Bollinger Band, change it to a 20. You have to change it to a 20 though. The automatic, the auto setting, the default setting is 14. I don't know why. I think 14 is supposed to be for the RSI. I mean the SMA, but the Bollinger you have to change it to 20 if you want to go with that strategy. And just do it when you're outside of the bands and you're at some sort of a support level. That's how I prefer to do it. Like right here, you can see it was outside of the band right here. There really wasn't is there anything in here to use? I think it was. Or was it? Yeah, it was. I think it was this right here, the top side right here, but it didn't last. It didn't go down. I'd rather use that. I'd rather use that with you know how people say we're um, overbought and oversold. I'd rather turn that Bollinger on to actually confirm how extended we are than to just say over above 70 or below 30, we're extended or overbought or oversold. Uh, it's- the Bollinger, I can say we're It's a move that may not last too long, or we might go sideways or something like that. But uh, for that, and again, I use 20. This would be 30. I don't like 30 anymore because everybody uses 30. That would have been 30 and then 70 right here. I'd rather use 80. You're actually more bullish or more bearish when you drop 30. You're a lot more bearish. It's not oversold in my opinion. You're just more bearish. That's why you got that nice move down because it was way more bearish. It's more bearish. It's not oversold. It's more bearish, and it's more bullish when you're above 70. It's more bullish. It becomes less sustainable when you get outside of, let's just say, 80 or 20. It becomes a lot less sustainable for the move. Like then you throw a Bollinger on with that, and you can really tell, like, am I really overextended? Uh, for me, that's how I like it. Once again, that's your. This is 30 right here. Actually bounced from here, but guess what? We're also outside of the band right here. Over here, we got above what 70. So the price action is a lot more bullish. It's not we're over we're overbought. No, you see how price rallied behind that? Rallied when we got right here. And I did back test on this too, which is why I had started this right here. Like, what's my average peak above 70? I started doing that, and then I started back testing to see, hey, if I short this from this point, like, how successful am I? And it was terrible. The success rate of trying to short when the RSI was above 70 was terrible. Or when the RSI, I changed this to 80 right now, or when the RSI is below 30, the success rate is terrible, very terrible. Right here, below 30, it's way worse, way worse. So I wait for us to get below 20. Then I start looking at it below 20 and outside the bands. Yeah, I catch a reversal. That's my thing. That's how I like to look at it. And that's just like I said, based on me actually back testing it to see how many times I would win and how many times I would lose. If I did that, you'll lose like crap trying to short that. You will lose. Next, put dots onto it. But, I don't know if I like it. Sometimes I can't see when we're doing something. Like right here, I'm having, you got a scalp. Scalp. See if we don't hold. See if we hold. MACD is above its signal line through here too. See that? It's still below the zero line, but it did come up. It's still positive right now. So no squeezes this morning, unfortunately. No squeezes. Oh yeah, we're supposed to mark out that bear div. I'm a little early with that. But it would keep me on my toes if I highlight it anyway. Have to make sure we're not gonna flag out right here. Already halfway down this candle. I was so excited yesterday. Oh my God. Then you wake up and you wake up and mm, VIX dropped all the way back inside of the ascending trend line. The one at the top, it dropped all the way back inside there, so that's good. One thing we haven't been doing too much, I mean, that's a bull div right there, if you want to call it that, you know, which is to be expected because of how we pumped up, how high the RSI got, and we left no, I mean, this is just just straight up in the air. We don't break market, we wouldn't break market structure until down here for, um, let's just say, the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour. You have to get below here. This is how it went for us yesterday too. Right in here. could just use slide this back. I don't know if I went. I think I did probably draw it from back here, but that's how it went for us yesterday too. Where we had this. Got that breakdown right here. We got this ugly little inverse on the 1 hour. I mean the 1 minute right here, seen from this candle right here. That candle formation was the ugliest inverse. Not today. Not today. I should have taken profit on that long. I'm still holding above standard one, but doesn't look too pretty. That candle doesn't look too pretty right now. I got like 21 minutes left on it. It doesn't look too pretty though. And that's like even more than halfway down this candle. Okay. Bitcoin's making decisions right now. So the VIX did come back inside of this range here, back within this consolidation range. So that could be a good thing. Hopefully, it's a good thing. Like it's already good. this Tesla. Tesla. Now you can trade this on Bluefin. Bluefin does this. Hey, have to, yeah. They ask you these stupid questions. I want you to sign an agreement that you're not within the United States to trade those. No, no, I know they refer to them as, but those stock pairs with USDT. And they got a few of them that you can trade. Which I'm excited for. I haven't tried it yet. Um, I'm not on Bluefin. I may ask me those questions. I just chose not to. But I think they're a lot better than BTCC. For one thing, BTCC is all cross, no isolated. Cross isn't terrible though, um, depending on how you use it. It's not terrible. But the thing I don't like about BTCC is you don't actually get a good market entry. If you wanted to go market, you would. Even if you hit limit, you wouldn't get a good entry on a lot of the tokenized stocks that they allow you to trade. So far, it's only been like four that you'll get a good entry on, and that's Hood, Apple, Nvidia, and Palantir. Just those four so far from my experience with it. The rest of them you don't get in at a good entry for whatever reason. They offset your entry, and you have to do a lot of extra programming settings on BTC C2, uh, like making sure you change from, let's just say for example, ask to bid. You know, your stop loss. It doesn't matter where your stop loss is. Like they'll round it off, and if it's close enough for them to want to stop you out, they'll stop you out or take profit. One of those two, right? Yeah, or they'll tell you you have to move your stop down lower, even though it's not. I mean, I'm just regular trading. Your stop would be fine. But say, for example, I wanted this, like prices up here. I want this candle low right here to be my stop. It'll tell me my stop is too close. No, my stop is where I want my stop to be. It's below price. They'll tell you it's too close. And sometimes, they'll go ahead and automatically stop you out because you set your stop there. They'll go ahead and take you out of the trade. So I look forward to being able to trade tokenized stocks somewhere else. I don't really care if going on BTCC except for those four that I will trade from time to time. The rest of it I hate. And now that there's more competition coming in, maybe they'll change things. It's hard to survive. There's a lot of competition. Those for Coinbase too. Those high fees on Coinbase, ridiculous. One of the safest places to trade, other than that, or to have your money sitting on the exchange, is one of the safest places. Uh, fees are fees are crazy. But if you want to do like futures trading on Coinbase, they do the same thing that a traditional market would do, where you have to have so much money in your account in order to get approved. Like you have to answer all these questions. They treat you like a real brokerage, like and just go there and trade futures. Let me just see where the EMAs look like for a sec here. It's so weird that kind of chilling. Okay, so we're holding the 5 EMA. Hmm, see what it looks like over here. Losing that 382 makes it more likely that we come back into that golden pocket, possibly 76. That 1 hour candle isn't looking too cute right now. 8 minutes left on that. lost that. So I'm gonna move this line, focus on the horizontal. Back. Let me, since we are inside of a range, just want to see what our pattern. It looks like it's a falling wedge or some sort of a flag. It's not the cutest. It doesn't really have like structure. Structurally, not the best. Yeah, I don't like the structure. I don't know why we've gotten to where we do this a lot now. We've gotten to where we do this a lot. Like this is a common pattern. You have a range down here, we break, then we put in some sort of a uh, rising or leading, I don't know what you want to call this, but put in some sort of a rising structure, and we break to the upside. And the last time it continued, we did that. I think we did that. I think that was right in here. We did that right in here, I believe. I think it was right there. Or was it here? It could have been this. Or was it this? Was it this? We put in the sideways structure, and then we did something like this. I can't remember if it was this chart or if it was, I think it was this one right here. We did that. I did this right here. Then we did this, break up, and this right here, and that. I think it was right there. You see it again, like kind of right in here. Uh, anyway, we've done that a few times. A few times in here. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It looks just like that right now. It looks just like that sideways. I think it was this right here. Yeah, it was this. It was this right here. It was this. 'Cause we had this right here. We had this right here, which I had actually did it like a I had it as if it was something like this. And we moved into a rise. And we broke to the upside, got that moved down. Then we popped back up and we did that before rolling over. That's what it looks like. Doesn't say it repeats it, but that's what it looks like. Like interesting. Hmm. Same thing gold did too, right? It's stuck on me. It's stuck on me. I have to wait for it to unfreeze. Release yourself. That's what gold did. Also, we're trying really hard. We really are. We're trying really hard. They did give us a little bit more structure on this being corrective, but we'll see if that's going to be the pattern um, within here. A little cool off. One hour's about to close. Trying to stay above that 382, which is good for a flag if it stays above the 382. In my opinion, it stops being a flag when you lose the 382. That's just my 2 cents. It plays out a lot better. Like it stops being that. It becomes like a falling wedge or something else, some sort of descending pattern. But ideally, ideally, you want to flag into a 382 um, and bounce. Anything below that, in my opinion, is garbage. Shoot, we can't find it. Like this flag right here, which is hard to really tell from this 1 hour time frame. But we do that, and you do this with 382 on a flag. You get a nice push out. Like you don't want to be. It's not a flag if it's below that. That's my standard. It's not a flag if it's below 382. I don't know what you got. You don't got a flag. You ain't got a flag. If it fails, 382. See what this did. All the way no Bitcoin to go to bed. You ain't got a flag if it fails that. So whatever this was doing, trying to flag right here. You lose that. You got my flag. That little chop above the 382. You ain't got it. You lose that. What you got? Then you try that right here too. A little chop. Yeah. All right. Try to save. Good deal. That was bad close. It is 8 o'clock. I'm just gonna run back through what I'm looking for today, and then I'm gonna call it quits. Right now, the main thing is basically holding the trend line through here. If we're gonna get any sort of continuation, we want to hold. Not really caring for this now because if actually from a lower time frame perspective, um, might not be so good for us to come back down and attempt at this trend line from there. Be another structure break. Unless it's just a sweep off of the lower time frame and not a closure. That it's not gonna be what I want. Yeah, it's not looking good. Um, yeah, I mean that could feed us all the way back down to where we were holding that before. As far as the 4 hour time frame is concerned, like I said, once we break down below here, chances are we come back down into here and probably even sweep below here. I mean, I know a lot of people are calling for us to get down into 50,000 now or to take out this low right here since we kind of, we S&P right there. I don't know if they kind of, but we did in the moment. Regardless, uh, I still maintain a bullish bias personally. Even with all this, I still maintain a bullish bias. I'm gonna keep looking for, to get long um, at key support levels, which, again, I did take this long right here. It's not looking good, but I took it and I tried again at the next support level, at least until we lose it. We lose it, and I will no longer be interested, and I just start to look for shorts on another account or something like that. But I am short already from here. But right now, I'm gonna keep looking for loans. That's what I'm gonna keep doing. My bias is, I mean, we're making higher highs and higher lows right now, at least until we do change the structure right over here. Sideways, sure, but higher highs and higher lows is what we are making right now within that parallel channel. Stick with it. Looking to run it at support until it breaks. this was me hoping that we would hold here, and we didn't. Hoping that we could put that into support. That didn't happen. I would have only did that off of a nice reaction anyway. Otherwise, it's the key levels in here for me. So I'm looking for us to hold. I'm looking for us to not lose, not take out this low. Is what I'm looking for us to not take out this low. We're a little closer towards this low down here right now, which is why I'm looking for longs too, because I'm looking for us to not take out this low. And the closer I am to this, the less I am at risk of price action just absolutely nuking below me, you know. So that's what I'm going to keep looking for. Doesn't look cute right now, but it's 10 hours, 11 hours left in the day to for this to turn from red back to a green candle. Momentum is still to the upside through here right now, especially after we created this point right here. Momentum is still to the upside right now. We don't have this bear div here anymore, not like we had before between here and it was very exaggerated right here too, but nonetheless it was still a bear div right here. And still got a chance. If you're bullish, if you're bearish. If you're bearish, by the time the day closes, you want to close below here. You got a long way to go to wait for that to happen. For that to confirm, you can break it right now and come back above, and you'll never know it. Not based on this line chart. If you're bearish, I assume that that's something worth looking at. It's just waiting for it to close back inside of this zone right here. I'll go as far as to say close below here. I would actually think that that would be better since we haven't had any closures below here. Once you close below here, you change behavior. It won't be a change of character, but it definitely will be a change of behavior. Just like this was a change of behavior right through here. We had a change of behavior before as well too, I think. Let me see if we ever had a change of behavior before then. Not really. Not if I, let me see. Yeah, we had a couple. Had a couple of change of behaviors. I don't think it gets more than this one right here though. At least with this one. Maybe it'll close below there. Close, yeah. I mean, you gotta wait. If you're bearish, you're waiting. You're waiting. My bias is bullish. You stuck waiting if you're that bearish on it. I feel good about it. At the end of the day, once we take out this low right here, I don't have a reason to remain bullish, but right now we haven't taken out this low right here. So until then, my bias is to the upside for continuation. RSI still looks nice here on the 15-minute time frame, despite the little trade that could have been taken right here from the resistance area, knowing that we were putting in a bear div for one, and we were overextended on the RSI. And we just with that break came back inside standard two. If you were so at this point, we either put in a bullish divergence with a move down, which means price action does come in and take out this low right here, or we bounce from here from this low in pocket 786. Being that the RSI still looks pretty decent in here, I would assume that we could hold here and bounce away. But if that's not the case, then the next priority would be looking for a bullish divergence. And again, it's going to come from price action taking out this low and the RSI having a higher low. And then that'll give a better move up and eliminate bearish divergence. That's what I would say. And so the RSI could potentially get as low as 20. It could potentially get as low as 20 back in here. Just if I do it. Okay, let's see if we got to break back up. But on the bullish divergence part, what I was talking about. Let's see. Put that at 20. Ignoring that 10, what I did was switch this to a 1, like that. And you can use it like that too, like for 1. And do it like that. I do it with the 2. Sometimes I drop another one in here just so I can catch the 1 instead, like the retracement into a 1. You can kind of be late sometimes if you do it like that. I mean, you will be late. I use both of those signals. 1, it came back into 1. That was a cleaner top right there. But two is my go-to, but 1 is actual confirmation a lot of times. But right now, anyway, what I was trying to get to is on a bull div, I wouldn't expect for this to go below where it is right now on a 1, on a standard 1. If you set it to a standard 1. give this a shot. Give this a shot. Try it with both bands. That's what I do. With this one, you see, I use two. I would use two bands. That's what I use when I'm using the Bollinger on price action. I use two bands. It's nothing. It's never going to be anything like price action, though. Never going to be anything like price action. But price action, you don't want to trade price action alone without some sort of an indicator, and you don't want to trade an indicator without understanding price action either. So they work together. I would advise you to try this, and I would use real money, even if you're doing like a dollar trade, like use some actual capital. That way you can see your money grow or see it start to disappear, and you actually have emotions tied into it. Biggest thing about trading is discipline, and you get discipline through actually feeling pain. Enjoy both, and really focusing on how much you can lose as to how much you can make, which makes your win rate terrible. But that number is not actual money. that's just that's just a number. Who cares? That's not the number that goes into the bank account. So I would definitely use real money though. Oh, another thing I would tell you too, if you did a strategy like this right here, let's just say you were doing, um, let's just say you chose to do a standard one as opposed to a standard two. Just look at how far price action is away when this happens too. Like in this case right here, I think it's a little bit too far away for me to want to, you know, like I said, I use two bands. Uh, well, I'm basically just doing two to know I'm close to some sort of exhaustion. Uh, the one is confirmation of a continuation or or seeing price action hold above that too. It's something that I look for. I mean that one seeing price action hold above one if it comes back in. Um, but you can see the difference and how clean one trade may work over the other one. Uh, and I'm gonna make sure I put it to the actual closing candle instead, so you can see how that ran on a little bit more. to the upside there. And just like with this one, you can see how it ran down a little bit more there. Doesn't always do that. Just trade some of the immediate and don't overtrade. That would be my advice. Not overtrade. But have some levels when you're doing this. So that's standard too. So let's just say I put this on, and I'm going to leave after this. Put this on a 1. You can see how late you would have been to the party. So if you can see you're late, don't bother. If you're not late, like this one, I can actually put this over here. You're not late here. You're on time for that top. So just give yourself a chance to try both. This is actually, I'm going to put it like this. I really can't put it like that. I really have to do something like that. So you're there, here. You would have been in right here. It depends on how your eyes look at it. This would have been the second coming right here. Not all of them are going to be the same. Not all of them are going to give you a nice strong push. This one, slide this over. I'm short if it'll let me grab it. Shows up on me a little bit there. Right there. Then you can go on and on and on. Right here. Right here. You're not far away, then it's a good trade. If you're far away, right here, this is a good one. Back into 1. And I just really wait. Yeah, I really make sure I'm at some support and resistance. Can read price action some, at least read some price action. I prefer to be up here somewhere before I start looking at it though. So you're not taking trades in the middle of the range. At least be in here. I'm not saying you have to, yeah, at least be around 70. Am I up here around 70, above 70, above 70 and outside of the band? I would probably set it on a 1. Or I mean, you can set it on a 2, but a 1 might be a better option if you're outside of 70 or outside of 30. Then that would make more sense to me. So, what are you doing? What are you doing? I prefer to play extremities. You would have got messed up a little bit right here, but it's above 70. So if you plan the one that's above 70, you're not wrong. It just, it deviated. You got a bear deal. And again, it came back up above 70 and got outside of the band right here. So right here, came back up above 70 and got outside of the band right there. But if you just stick to it being above 70 or below here, you'll catch better trades by doing that, as opposed to, yeah, you catch way better trades. You get into extreme zones and then look for that. Another extreme right here. Nothing's going to work 100% of the time. You have to know that. That's why you have to set your stop loss. Nothing's going to work 100% of the time. And you're not over trading. Trend lines are always good with this too. Having a trend line for the setup is always a good idea as well. or comparing it Bollinger to Bollinger. But some of them, you might get something a little bit, and then your stop loss is in place, so you get stopped out on because that is above 70. But it's more of a win than it is a situation. That's my whole point. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. And then there's another one right there. But it's no different than using, it's you're still using the RSI just like everybody else uses it, except you're taking advantage of a little bit more information. Goes good with Bollinger. Goes good with the Bollinger itself. We're back to here. That's what we're back at. Demand line. Fell below it. Let me get you out of here. I don't think that's working anymore. All right, so far, golden pocket. It works good if you have an actual Bollinger on too. Cause like this wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad idea. Right there. The other thing that happened right here too is you came back below 70. Let me just say that. You came back below 70. Right here. It's like you came back above 30 right here. So let me just say that too. Just, just for reference. You came back up 30. You came back down 70 right here, which was the same as that standard one. Came back down 70 in there. Put in full dip around 50. Where you came back up to. You came back up 30. So you can just look at the RSI as well. You won't be able to just look at the RSI when you overextend it, but um, came back up 30. Candle closure is important because if you don't let it close, you can be wrong. I don't know if this is always the case, but I was looking at this. Um, I've got to looking at this. Okay. Trying to find. It's not always the case. There's something about this. I was trying to. Oh, hold on, that's wrong. No, it's not. I noticed something the other day when I was studying. I got to study it a little bit more. There's something I was noticing. I think it's that. I'm just curious. Not that I would ever use that center in here. I just wanted to see what that looked like. Just wanted to be sure I didn't want to use it. Anyway, I'm just doing this because I'm bored. Bitcoin is doing nothing. uh, 5 rejecting. VIX back outside the trend line. Gold trying to recover. Still looks like crap. Um, Silver is actually holding that nice looking top, bottom and tail candle. And copper is holding. So hopefully these metals will return. That's the we said we think that this could be the low on copper. It's trying to hold it, so that's good. Um, this nice little bottom and tail that silver had put in. Just trying to maintain this. I'm just going to keep it just like this right here. Like I said, if it doesn't, for some reason, it comes down, if the new candle opens here in the next hour, 22 minutes, new candle opens, if it comes through and it's SFPs is low right here, then I think that's a good deal for silver, especially if it can hold this line right here. So either SFP, I'll change this, either SFP, this candle low right here, or S&P off of this trend line, one of those two. But right now, that little bottom tail looks nice. I would think that if this candle closed, everything else would range inside of it, or just have some sort of a reversal like it did right here. Continuation, I mean, could be a reversal. That's a pretty candle. That thing is pretty. That's pretty. And gold. It would have been nicer if it actually tapped. You notice how a lot of stuff is just kind of front running. Um, Pocket. Did I draw this right? Just making sure. Just a lot of stuff front running pockets. Golden pocket and 786. I guess because everybody's doing SOPs or something, maybe. But VIX is trying to push back out of here. So VIX gets through here this time. I don't know about the red candles. Um, I would, that's what I would think, unless it fails right here again. But SPY is, yeah, coming back down here to this area. Coming back down into here. Hours the market open. So yeah, so like I said, either we hold here at this golden pocket and then we get a continuation move up, or we put in some sort of a bullish divergence right here. That's going to be our last hope. Is going to be putting in a bull deal with price action coming lower than this low and the oscillator staying above this low right here, or you know, if that's the last hope, we could change structure from a you know 4-hour time frame by taking out this low right here. At least it has to close below this low anyway. Otherwise, it's a liquidity sweep. But still, it's not a good look. Like, it's not a comfortable thing if we do take out this low right here. Liquidity, the largest pool of liquidity is sitting above this high. And might not be the end all be all just because the liquidity is up there either. In the last several hours, it may not be, especially if the SPY keeps pumping and traditional markets continue to sell off, and Bitcoin is no exception to that. I mean, in metals, the whole market is looking like garbage. They didn't have any data today. Um, Today's Tuesday. We don't actually have any news today. Tomorrow, um, we have a couple of things tomorrow, such as non-farm employment change, ISM services, PMI. Got that. And then Thursday, we have unemployment claims. And Friday, We have a couple of things: unemployment rate, core retail sales, uh, non-farm employment change. I have to make sure I say farm. It's hard for me to say farm. Farm. Um, Average hourly earnings. Yeah, so we have a little bit of stuff. Nothing I feel like it's really going to shake the market. The biggest thing right now is uh, happening in the middle E. So I'm gonna leave it there. I love you. Thank you for joining me. Um, I hate to say something, and then the market starts moving, and then I say goodbye. The scenario could be playing out on you. Um, I'm not in the mood to get stopped out of a trade either. But it is what it is. There's one particular account. It's a really small account, and when you lose a trade on it and you're paying the fees, um, yeah, I mean, you live to trade another day, but it's still it's hard to do something when you have a really, really small account. It's possible, but it's hard with risk management. It's hard. Try not to take every trade. Just stop. It was up pretty good. It was up pretty good. It was all right. It's back down now. But, let me get stuff out of this, especially me saying that we have to look for the bullish divergence, which means it might have to come down to take out the low. Let's stop this trade out right here off of that range break. Sure that will likely get stopped out. It's this range right here that I played. Naturally, I'm going to wait for a new range to form, but yeah, it's not going to work now. That sucks. It almost seems impossible now to put any sort of bullish divergence. That was all we had. This does not look nice. Let me turn that off. already had did that. We had already did this one. I'll put it in, but so it looks like we will put in the bull deal over here if we do take out this low. That's gonna be the only hope that we have left, and just pair that with the support level right here and the channel formation over here. Um, if that happens, yeah, if it happens, we will get a bull deal on this 15-minute time frame right through here. And if that happens, check to see where you are with the bands as well on the RSI. Um, see if you're possibly extended, or if you put in like a bottom and tail candle or inside bar range. Those are going to be good to look for in this situation right here. But with that said, I need to get off the stream. I love you and appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. my